you've been at this since I think you said January, and you've had enviable success on the platform. You've grown to a point where now your channel is getting more people in. And first of all, you're shaking your head. You can't even believe it. I can't either. I don't know why the hell people go watch you. But second, I wanted to talk. I just came in here. I just brought you here to berate you. That's all I'm doing. I wanted to ask you in the path there. Have you felt like you've experienced any? I'm starting to second guess my question because I feel like I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer anyway. Do you feel like you've experienced any like plateauing and gotten discouraged by that, or have you kind of just been, what come what may kind of thing in the terms of this process? Because I've just to couch that, folks around like the 15 to 25 viewer range. Maybe I have this misconception, but I feel like that's a range that a lot of people just kind of sit in for a long time, and that's where you find yourself generally. But I'm curious if you felt like you've hit that point and experienced that.
I'll be straight up with I don't know what the feeling is as far as like the numbers game goes, because a long time ago, when I was still getting like 2 or 3, I turned off my numbers because I practiced talking to the wall, and I love the wall. Me and the wall are really good friends. And when there's no one there, when there's no one saying anything, I assume there's no one, and that's when I get real weird, where I'm like, all right, it's you and me, baby. Like, let's get weird with it, and I'll be like, how you doing in that? And it's like, okay, let's really dig into it. Me and that wall, if you saw what happened, I TOS, man, nothing but TOS. No, but really, a long time ago, I turned off numbers. And there's been a couple times where I'll be done, and my wife the next morning will be like, how was the stream? And I'll be like, oh, I think we had a good time. Like, I love the game we were playing. Some people were checking in. We had a good time. It was great. I give it an A+. She was like, yeah, I saw you were sitting at like X amount of viewers. And I was like, excuse me? How many? And she was like, yeah, well, and I checked in, and I had no clue. No, and I want to keep it that way because if there ever is a night where I do have 2 or 3 people and it's a great stream, that's all that matters to me, because I'm still, like you said, I'm still in this. If I sit down and play Back for Blood, right, which I'm playing right now, and nobody wants to watch it that night, but I have a good freaking time playing it, and someone keeps jumping in and pulling up my rip command, being like, you died, you suck. I'm like, you're right, I do. I'm sorry. Let's do better. How can we be weird together tonight? And if it finishes that way, and the vibes are good, and I had fun playing my game, the people in there have a positive experience that they pulled out from me. If an average of 3 is what I got, then that could be an average of 100, to me internally. Like, that's all that matters.
Yes.
And just recently I had, probably the lowest point I had as a supporter, where someone was having a really quiet chat. And like, when people have a quiet chat, I try to make it a point to engage with them for a minute, at least so we get some chat going, so that other people in there start to realize, oh, he talks, let me talk too.
Yeah.
And then I fade away because, I do as much as I can. And then, like we were talking about what our time is, but there's still a really good way to support people by being like, hey, let's make sure all these lurkers realize that this person is interactive. And so I'll do that. And the other night, I was in with someone for like 2 hours. Because no one else was there. And I just kept talking to him, redeeming stuff and being silly with him. And after the stream, I see them get on like Twitter or something being like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Nobody was in my stream tonight. This isn't worth it to me. And I was like, am I no one? Am I nothing to you? And to me, like, that hurt me so bad that like, I felt so discouraged to support after that, I was like, well, maybe like it doesn't mean as much to people as I thought, engaging with them, that all they want is high numbers, and I've got this all wrong. But like, if someone were in with me all night and it was a single person, like, that's a good night, because when you have someone over to hang out, do you really have groups of 35 to your house to play video games?
No,
it's like
that's
1 or 2, man.
Freaking weird. You can't.
Yeah,
first of all, there's not enough chips. But second, that's weird. It's like 4 people max, and after that, it's too many because it's smelly in there. Yes.
Well, first of all, I like a specific kind of Doritos, and they're way too expensive to feed 30 people. I like spicy sweet chili, and get out of here with anything else.
Paul, hang on. Paul, purple bag Doritos?
Purple bag. Where's my purple bag, man?
Paul is my resident Dorito expert. He is the snack king. He's got it. All right, so spicy sweet chili, there's my man.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it. Yep. So, but that's how I feel. Is like if it's a good experience with like one or two people, that is a real, genuine, like in my living room, like friend to friend to friend experience, and I will take that to the bank as like the best, gaming night of the week. So
Yes.
we're talking about plateauing though. There have been a couple times where I thought my content was no longer attractive, where I thought I have no good ideas, that I have tried everything, that now when people come in, like they're no longer surprised, and so I've lost, nobody wants to come in if they're not surprised. Like, who wants to be here for me? Nobody wants. And I started having that internalization of like, this is as far as I'm going to go. I think it was around 200 followers.
Okay.
The number that I remember seeing, where I was like, I think this is it, because I sat there for a long time. As far as a long time, in the grand scheme of things, but it was a long time for me because
Oh no!
when you get in with like
There we go.
150s, not
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I got a little stream health hiccup. Go ahead. You're good now. We're
Okay.
back.
Where like you get in like with a community, and like 100 to 150 is pretty easy anymore, because like a lot of those communities have like 200 to 300 people, and you get in with them, and it's like real genuine people that come and support you. But then after that, like it's genuine, like push growth, where it's one by ones. It's just moving up one at a time, not 25 at a time.
Yeah.
And I remember that happening and being like, no, but nobody wants to see this. Like there's no reason for me to do this anymore in this capacity. So like I genuinely expected the number to decline at that point, is how it felt. And there had to get to a certain point where I was like, I have to be okay with this. Like, I have to be okay with this if I want to continue doing what I'm doing for the real purposes. I have to be okay with the idea maybe that only 150 people exist in the world that are interested in what I'm doing. Because I'll tell you this, something else I learned from writing music is I was writing a song that I really, really didn't like. And I took a master class with, I think it was Deadmau5, actually, at one of his master classes for music production and writing. And he was like, when you start writing, he was like, and you don't like what you do, he was like, make sure and finish that song. It's going to be somebody's favorite. And I was like, really? And then we ended up recording a song on our album a long time ago, my least favorite song we've ever done. I hated how I sounded on it. I thought the parts were very like cookie cutter and everything. Well, our producer, he was like, this one's going on the album. And I was like, I really don't want it to. And he was like, nah, we're going to put it on there. And so I put it at like number 8 on the track list, because everybody knows the front 6 are the real songs. You go through a couple stinkers.
First song, second side, big time road trip song.
That's right.
Cassettes, ladies and gentlemen. That's Retro
Yeah.
Nate 716 right there. Cassettes with the pencil.
Plug. Have you guys ever heard of retro? Yeah.
With the pencil to rewind it and wind the tape. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. And so I put it, where I did, and it was our biggest selling song in the history of all of our songs. And I was so mad about it at the time, but I needed perspective, that like we wrote somebody's favorite song, even though it wasn't my favorite. So like the content you're creating, as long as you are in it and passionate about it, somebody wants it. I guarantee you. And so if you give up too soon because too many people that don't want it come in, that's okay too. Like, people have to not want it so that you can make room for the people that do want it and create a real, genuine, strong community. And I didn't know that was the case until I toughed it out through what I thought was a lull into creating what the community is now. Yeah. And I didn't know that it was going to turn into the Pokemon loving, drum night, everything that came from it very organically. Like, I had no clue that's what it was going to be. But, apparently there was a space for that. And that makes me, I can't tell you how ecstatic, like, just talking about it, like, I'm getting amped up about, like, that there's a space for me, that there's a space for me on the internet. Okay. I'm sorry.
There's a space
for me on the internet. I'm happy, ecstatic even.
There is. My God, like, the chat is lighting up here, man. Like, people, I love hanging with chilling with Keebs in chat. Keebs, I'd raid you every stream if I didn't feel like other people needed views. Still rocking a VCR. God bless Comic Stud. But I'm saying, like, and spicy nachos all day. We got all sorts of folks chiming in. But, like, you man, you hit it on the head. It's someone's favorite. And to cut off your nose to spite your face, right? To spurn the 2 or 3 people that decided to hang out with you because you didn't have the people that didn't. Are you kidding me? Like that? Who the hell are you? Excuse me for that, but who do you think you are? And coming back to the point about your pride, and it's not about that, and it's just being in that moment, being present in what you're doing, because it's not, it's your channel, but it's also not about us. It's such a paradox But you said it right there is you know, be present for those that decide that is their favorite. That's why they came and that's why they want to be there. Yeah, man. I'm like sitting here snapping my fingers over here, just echoing what you're saying. You're hitting the nail